What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Ohana Gaming Podcast, the podcast where we talk about freaking games with the freaking boys, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So,
yeah.
today I'm joined again with Willthelemon
that's me.
and Ottendo.
That's right.
And y'all make sure to sub to both of them. Their channel links will be in the description. So, first off, I want to ask y'all, how have y'all been? It's been a couple weeks.
Ooh. How have we been?
That's a good question. I've been pretty good. You know, just work, doing the thing, procrastinating on a video. Nothing unusual about that. Really, same old.
I gotcha. Ottendo, how have you been?
Oh, I've been great. I just about a couple of weeks ago I got my first Pfizer shot, and then a couple of weeks it's been last week that I got my Pfizer shot, and then afterwards I started getting into Breath of the Wild because Will told me that it's a great game. It's a great game. So
I am
it's
objectively correct.
Yeah, and it's my first actual Zelda game, and it's a great thing to get started into it. He showed me all the lore, he showed me everything like that. And I've been mostly working on YouTube videos. And, well, yeah, that's basically my day.
Well, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. I've been pretty good. I got back from a trip last week, so that was good. It's been kind of nonstop craziness, so we'll see how it goes this week. But overall, doing pretty good. So we got a good little bit to talk about today. Not too much. So we're gonna just jump in off the top. Let some of you gamers know some of the upcoming releases onto Xbox Gamepass. We're gonna try to start keeping everybody filled in with all the stuff. But there's so much stuff going on Game Pass in the next couple weeks, so we're going to highlight that now. So starting off, July 27th is Flight Simulator for Xbox Series S and X, and I believe also Cloud. So now the Flight Simulator experience is not locked to super crazy gamer PCs, and I've heard they also were working on optimization on PC as well to make it run well.
I would hope so.
So
that's good.
I imagine it'll run pretty good. So I hope to see y'all taking flight. Next up, July 29th, we have The Ascent. I heard that's a pretty cool game. After that, August 13th, we have Hades, which was I heard was a pretty good game on Switch. I think it's similar to Diablo.
Yeah.
And then the game I'm really excited for comes up August 19th, 12 Minutes. It's a kind of time loop game where, you have it's like 12 minutes and it's like this story, and I think even William Dafoe's in it, Daisy Ridley,
Willem?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
William Dafoe.
But yeah, I was excited about that when I saw it at the July showcase last year for Xbox, and I was glad that it's finally coming out. And then finally, to round it off, we have Psychonauts 2 on August 25th.
That's a good one.
The much awaited sequel. I'm gonna try to, if I have time, I'm gonna play the first Psychonauts, so then I can be ready for the second one.
That sounds good.
So
I've played a bit of it. It's pretty good.
Oh, you have? Have you beat it?
Yeah, I've played. No.
Oh, man. So that's all we have for upcoming releases. But we had a game that just came out recently, and our boy Will here he's gonna give us a quick hot spicy review of it. Take it away.
So Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD is now out for way too much money on the eShop and also in retail stores. It's better. Okay, is it worth your $60? If you're a Zelda fan who needs a Zelda game, yes, because it is substantially better than the Wii version. The motion controls are way better. And also the button controls are very passable. I mean, it's a Wii game that relied heavy on the Wii Motion Plus. There's only so much you can do there. It was great. The beginning was great because on the Wii version, you take like 2 steps in any direction and someone's barking down your throat about something. And I'm like, hey guy, I don't care. Quite frankly, I played a Zelda game. Stop holding my hand. And that is basically gone. Now you can have it. You'll see NPCs will have little like dialogue things over their head. You could talk to them if you want. It's completely optional. Fi, before this, Fi was an absolute bane of my existence. If you thought Navi was bad, then quite frankly, don't play Skyward Sword on the Wii. You will absolutely disintegrate at the sound of her voice. However, in HD, yeah, she's basically like, of course, story beats and everything. She's going to talk and whatever, but all of her advice and her telling you, oh, you only have a few hearts left. It's like, yeah, no kidding. Yeah, she doesn't do that. She can do that. You'll see her sword light up a little bit and you can interact, but you don't have to. It'll beep once and then it won't again, which is great because it was constant in the last one. So overall, I think it's way better. And quite frankly, the more linear focus was actually quite refreshing. Because, you have all these open world games. You have like Far Cry, Assassin's Creed now. Literally every like Ubisoft game, the Ubisoft open world, get the towers. Like, and even Breath of the Wild to some extent, it's super open, has a lot of agency. It's a little refreshing to dial it back a little bit. It's like you've been drinking seltzer water the whole time, and now you decided to go with a nice little bit of Fiji, a little bit of distilled purified water, Deer Park, whatever you need, to bring it back a little bit and be like, okay, here's traditional Zelda. Again, it still makes me want the older games on Switch. And, that's a whole discussion with itself. I won't get too into it. But, yeah. Other than this, I don't think we're getting any more Zelda until that little Game & Watch thing, and then Breath of the Wild 2, so enjoy your drink of water while it lasts.
Yo, that I'm gonna be real though, that little Game & Watch thing is kind of tempting because Link's Awakening is like my favorite Zelda game. So
yeah,
the fact he's got that on
that's
there.
cool.
But at the same time, I mean, I have it on my Game Boy, and I just released. Well, I have it on Switch and Game Boy, and I just recently replaced the internal battery, so like it's good to go.
Oh, so you're good to go.
Yeah, it's good to go.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this little Game & Watch, it's collectible. Like, I'm kind of I mean, I'm not like a huge fan of Nintendo, but I mean, they do get me with that kind of stuff. I'm gonna be real. So,
yeah. And I'll say it again. If you're a big Zelda fan like me, is it worth the $60? Sure. I really wish it wasn't $60, but there's only so much you can do. I'm not Nintendo.
I'm gonna call you out though. I'm gonna call you out.
They're gonna charge. Oh no! No.
Okay.
No, I know what you're gonna say.
No. Here's what's funny is we were talking in the chat one time, and I was just like, how much do you think this game's worth? He's like, I don't know, 40. I'm like, oh, but you bought it for 60, and he's like, I actually bought it for 120. I bought it digital and physical. I'm just like, dog.
My mom's gonna be watching this.
Guys,
come on.
The law of free market states that you
I stimulated the economy.
You say that you value Skyward Sword HD at $120.
Yes. Hey, do as I say, not as I do. Okay.
Okay.
I wanted, my fear of digital copies now, but at the time I was like, I kind of want to play Skyward Sword right now.
You were like, sitting in bed like 5 minutes before midnight. You were like, I kind of want to play it right now.
I was sitting there looking at the eShop like, okay,
do I do it?
How desperate am I for I wouldn't say new for me, because I never completed the game on Wii because I nearly threw my Wii remote at the screen and never touched it again. And so I was like, well, I guess I got an extra few dollars. So again, do as I say, not as I do. I did that with Mario 3D All-Stars as well. But that's only because it was a limited release, which that's a different topic for another time.
That's debatable in my opinion. But
Mm.
speaking of the freaking Nintendo Switch, we're gonna switch
Oh,
some
boy.
gears, right? And
Oh.
we're gonna talk about.
Okay.
We're gonna talk
I'm
about.
reporting you.
No, we're gonna talk about
Gosh.
the Switch OLED and just what the heck. All right, I'm gonna start with Ottendo because I've got some thoughts.
Yeah.
I've got some freaking like
I have big old thoughts.
I've got
as well,
some
boys.
freaking like market thoughts.
I've got nearly a page
So-
of notes thoughts on it. So
Yeah, so Ottendo, start us off. What are your overall and or detailed thoughts of the Switch OLED?
Alright, so my overall thoughts of the entire Switch OLED. Honestly, to me, it's not worth it. It's really not much of an upgrade. I mean, you're starting off like the OLED screen. It does make it much better. It makes the colors more brighter and more vivid, which would benefit a lot of games that require color, like Breath of the Wild, the new
Breath of the
Pokemon
Wild
games
probably
that's going to come out. Oh, I don't know. It's like I'm telling you, I'm new to the Zelda thing. I don't know, but still, you get my point.
Yeah.
But the storage thing, I'm not a fan of because I mean, games on the Switch. I mean, you could fill up that 64 gigs easily, but you can always upgrade it. Like you can always put more storage in there. It's cheap to do. Then there's the stand. That's a pretty good thing. The stand. That's because that little stand on the base Switch, it flops around a lot and it's just awful. So I'm glad that they're doing that too. And then there's the what else? The imported LAN, the little LAN port in there, which is not
it's nice
too
quality of life.
yeah, it's all right about that sort of thing. And then, but overall, it's like people were expecting the Switch Pro, and like everyone was talking about how when are they gonna release the Switch Pro? Is it real? Is it gonna come out and all that? And then when they see the OLED model, they're disappointed that they thought it was gonna be like 4K and all that. Honestly, I mean, if Nintendo is not going to bring out they have to bring out a Switch Pro in like 2 to 3 years or something like that. Because I mean, the Switch is good and all, but it can't last that long. And it's like they gotta because now that with the Steam Deck that's coming out, they're in competition right now, and there's like they gotta step it up, like what Sonic says. Come on, step it up. But yeah, it's like the Switch OLED. Yeah, it's all right, but for like how much is it? Here, it's for the base Switch, you can get it for like $300 to $400, but the Switch OLED, it's like $500 and something dollars. It's like $100 extra.
$350 over here.
Yeah, but I should probably talk about the conversion stuff and all that. But here, it's like $500.
Yeah,
Australia be
it's
like-
three. Yeah, it's 350 USD. So 500 Australian.
Yeah, about
Yeah.
500 something that much. Yeah, I mean, it's
Good
not
lord.
worth that much, honestly. I could just get a regular Switch, get like the games I want and all that, and then like a couple of years along the track, when the Switch Pro inevitably might come out, then I'll probably use that to buy that. But as of now, the Switch OLED, in my opinion, it's not worth it.
Before we get to Will's thoughts, I gotta ask you this question: if you were a new Switch owner, like you had not purchased a Switch yet, which model would you go for?
If you were a new
Like if
brand
you
new into the Switch.
personally say you did not have a Switch and you'd been wanting to get one, which one would you go to the store and buy if all of them were available?
Well, if you want, I'd say probably if you want to get like if you're just new into it and want to get the best thing, probably OLED. I reckon the OLED would be the best choice because I mean, if you're a long time Switch fan, it's not much of a difference. But if you're just starting in, then yeah, that would be a good pick to get the OLED model.
Gotcha.
I reckon so.
All right, Will, what are your juicy, spicy thoughts on this here OLED device?
I know I did when I saw it on Twitter. I got a little excited, probably a little too excited. I was like, oh, and then I clicked it, and I was like, oh, so it's just kind of the same thing again, but like a better screen. And then I was like, okay, and then I stopped really caring. I mean, that was essentially my roller coaster of emotions. But if you ask me, like, dedicated LAN port, better screen and everything, I think for me, especially during the funny 2020 year, I played a lot of Switch docked. And still, like, it's docked right now. I've been playing in docked mode like pretty much all day, just playing some Pokemon. And I'm like, my problem isn't necessarily that, like, oh, there's no 4K 60 FPS. They're really losing the competition. No, I don't care about that. Like 1080p 60 is what I kind of expected. And even like 1080p docked, you can keep the 720p screen. That's fine. Because if you really think Nintendo about to be up in the 4K 8K business, then I don't know. I don't know how to help you, guy. I don't know how to help you.
Nintendo 64K.
It'd be nice, but let's think
Nintendo has a
realistically.
track record of taking older parts and making something that's pretty decent out of them. I mean, the Wii U actually had a pretty, like, really good GPU, but the CPU they put in there basically nerfed it. It couldn't handle all the input from the GPU. Because otherwise, it could have been an actual competitor to the, like, 360 and PS3, and even has stood some ground against the PS4 and Xbox One. But we're at a point now where it's like, you got PS5, Series X. Yeah. They offer substantial upgrades for a decent price.
Yeah.
And for me, all I can see is, nah, we want Mario Golf to keep having frame drops. And I'm like, okay. Like, golf, boys. This is a golf game. The Mario first-party golf game. And I'm like, you're not addressing anything. And I would like to say to everybody, the stuff we talk about, especially when it gets a little technical, I like to think my technical knowledge is fairly up to snuff. However, I also want to, Digital Foundry. I mean, hey, if you're here, you probably already watched them. But, like, I would go to any of Digital Foundry's videos, especially lately, to sort of get a more informed opinion. They break it down pretty well. And they were saying that the Tegra X1 chip in the Switch as of now, and it has not been changed, essentially, that probably won't be able to do NVIDIA ray tracing or DLSS. It's just not there. It was never built for that. They would essentially need to go to NVIDIA and say, hey, make us a new custom chip. And they probably wouldn't be able to, because they already have sales for, their RTX line and stuff. I don't know how much silicon they're going to want to divert to Nintendo.
And there's a shortage.
Yes, exactly.
That's true. And I keep thinking of the AMD possibilities, because I know we're going to get to the Steam Deck, but AMD do be making a very mean APU with decent onboard graphics, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's even in the UX.
I did a really small AMD APU build. It was like the 2200G, so not even like the really good one. And I could play Forza at like medium 30 or low 60 at like 1080p. And that's pretty friggin' good.
And I mean, some of those screens, like on the Switch and stuff, it's not even 1080. I think it's like 720. So, like,
that's fine.
Like, honestly, kind of pushes it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'd rather play 720 60 than 1080p 30.
And the whole idea of the Switch being a sort of handheld console hybrid was really cool in 2017. And in 2018, 2019, we're like, okay, Doom Eternal, how's that going to work out? And then, they really hit it off with Animal Crossing in 2020. And then Doom Eternal, I was kind of like, this is pretty good, I will say, surprisingly running better than the last one. But, if you're like me and you have a PC and also console and also Switch, because I'm fairly, I would say I'm fairly privileged to have those things. It's like, okay, but why is this an incentive to get Doom on here when I could play it like elsewhere and get a better experience overall? I'm thinking in the mind of somebody who only has a Switch. Like, there's options, but I can only be like, the gimmick is starting to wear out a little bit, especially
Yeah.
now that like smartphones, like you stare at a smartphone all day, and then when you're in bed, are you gonna stare at yet another screen for a good portion of the night? No, I'd rather play on my TV, cut it off, and go to bed, watch a little YouTube, fall
Yeah.
asleep. So, it's different for everybody, but I think the innovation, shall we say, is wearing off. I don't know what y'all's thoughts on that are.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think too, with moving in with game streaming, whether it be from remote play or xCloud or similar services, I think sort of the novelty of having like a, hybrid console is kind of wearing off. I
Mm.
honestly, okay, we'll go ahead and jump into my thoughts. It'll kind of segue into what I was thinking about saying just a second ago. Here's what I think about it. I think the device is fine. I see it as soon as I saw it announced and I didn't see the price yet. I was like, oh, it's just like a DS Lite, where slight improvements, slight upgrades, nothing really on the performance side, but looks a little bit nicer, has a couple quality of life improvements, and it has a better screen, even a brighter screen. And then I saw the price, and they said it's a new part of the Switch family, and I said, this is a dumb idea.
Yeah.
And the reason why, and I mean, I don't know, maybe it'll make more money how they're doing it now, but here's what I'm thinking. This should have just been, okay, all Switches from now on that aren't Switch Lite, all of our normal Switches will have a new OLED display and all of that. They sell it for $300, and they sell the remaining stock of the other ones for $275. Okay, something like that. Instead of trying to make it a whole another market segment, because they have the Switch Lite, that's serving a certain market segment. They have the Switch.
Yeah, for the handheld thing. Yeah.
Yeah, they have the Switch. Here's what they needed. Okay, here's what they needed. Hear me out. A plug-in only console. And here's why.
I kind of agree.
Here's
with that,
why.
though.
Yeah.
It could be about the
agree.
size of a freaking Apple TV or a Roku. You put it there. It would have a larger hard drive than the other consoles, because you don't need the display. You don't need all the crazy stuff. It could probably cool a lot better because it's not having to be held in your hand and everything. It has a little cartridge slot. You can pop your cartridges in, but it also will have digital games, and it still has the great micro SD as well. I don't know how much engineering they would have to do because of how they would have set it up with the other, but it could even have a slight performance increase overall, just because it's, it's not having to try to do it on the screen and the power and all of that. I don't know how they want to do that, but I think that's what we needed, rather than trying to make this an entire different market segment, trying to serve. I don't know who they're trying to serve, other than like if they're trying to serve new customers. Like I think that $50 is gonna be a turnoff, especially for people that are just casual. It's of course hardcores are gonna get it. Hardcores are always gonna get it. The tech people are gonna get it. The review people are gonna get it. But
that's me.
If they were really trying to improve the overall base experience for Switch owners, and newcomers and everything, it like putting that extra $50 on the price tag, I mean, that's a game. And the Switch doesn't even come with a game. That's an entire game. And when you're making a purchase decision about that and you're like, okay, these are just marginal differences. Like, I mean, I don't even know that the battery life is that much longer. I mean, it might be. I think OLED might take less power. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But also, like, isn't OLED burn-in an issue?
Well, that's another thing. So already, if you go in your Switch to the settings, there's already a burn-in reduce option, and that's something I'm thinking about, because I know I had an LG smartphone before this one, and it was an OLED screen, and it had some burn-in. Like I could tell, like if you're on like YouTube, especially if you're a dark mode, average dark mode enjoyer as I am, you know, you won't see some of it. But if you have like a white background, you could see like the keyboard was basically burned in.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, you know, if I were to play Breath of the Wild for an obscene amount of hours like I have in the past, it's like, do I get Link just burned into my screen?
Get the HUD burned in.
I assume Nintendo has thought about this.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I would hope so, because they've made some hardware controller-y decisions, and you know, to the point where I'm like, okay, I really hope that doesn't happen, because it's a $50 increase over the base Switch, which, to be fair, I feel like we should be happy about that, because they could have easily made it like $400.
I mean,
And
yeah, but also
so-
for $50 more, you
but they
can
could have
get
been better.
for $50 more. Wait, hold on. No, actually, wait. The Xbox Series S, that's $299, right?
it's
believe so,
$300
yes.
bucks.
Yeah, $300
So for $50 less.
Okay, here's the value proposition. All right, you're a parent going to get your child a video game console. You could either go in and get the Switch. You could get for $300 no games. You could get the Switch OLED for $350 no games, or you could get the freaking Xbox Series S with Game Pass Ultimate for probably about 3 months.
Maybe some
For 3 months,
V-Bucks,
and that
dude.
would be the price for Xbox with Game Pass for 3 months. That would be around the price of the Switch OLED.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
I agree with
Yeah.
that.
No, I'm not saying it's good. I'm only saying
No.
that I'm surprised they were so
Yeah.
frugal with the upcharge.
no,
Yeah,
like
it's like,
I wanted I wish I could see the financials on that, the cost breakdown, because I'm just like, Nintendo, my guy, what are you doing? It's like
So
people were here's my problem. If it was an issue of they wanted to generate more sales, but they didn't have the stuff to be able to make an actual upgrade, so they just shoot this out. The Switch has been selling fine. The Switch has been selling
Yeah.
great. So like, there's no reason. In my opinion, it's either, the reason why I'm mad is it's either upgrade the base model or make an actual upgrade. None of this halfway BS. Like
Facts.
that's what makes me mad. Again, I think the device is fine. I just think the place it is in the market is just not good. And that's my problem I have with it. The way that they're trying to market this product. And that's one thing I want to tell everyone. When you say how you market a product or marketing and everything like that, doesn't mean advertisements. It doesn't necessarily. That's part of it. That's part of the promotion plan. But, you know, marketing is a lot more than just commercials, ads, and videos and things like
Well,
that.
it should tell you why you should care about its place in the market. Like,
Yeah.
Word of
Nintendo's
mouth
like,
too as
oh,
well.
here's the OLED. And then we go, well, why should we care, though?
Yeah,
'Cause
well-
it's really not that much better.
Well, my whole thing is just like, it's the price point they chose, the fact, like, just all the decisions in that, and then saying, you know, it's gonna be part of the family rather than it's, I don't know. I know somebody I was talking to, I can't remember who it was, but they brought up a point, which, I mean, I kind of agree it probably might happen, but I still think it's dumb. Like, I in the long run, I don't think it's a smart move. It was like, they put it at that price point because somebody looking to buy a Switch, they might be like, oh, this one's like better and it's only $50 more, blah blah blah. But and then they go and they buy that one, and then if they aren't feeling that, they'll still buy the base Switch. I'm just like,
yeah.
okay. I mean, you could just get that little bit of extra money in software sales. Like, I just don't like. I don't think that there's that much of a demand for this product. Like,
Yeah.
so if they did
there's
a
a
proper,
demand for a product.
yeah, if they
just
did an
not that
actual upgrade, I don't know. Like, I think the ideal situation for me is they wouldn't have done this next year or like a year and a half they reveal a Switch Pro or like a Switch 2, whatever they want to call it, and then they reveal the OLED is pretty much replacing the other model.
It's like the base
Yeah,
model.
it's
Honestly,
like the new and maybe they even like slightly revamp the Switch Lite, like do some light improvements, and they're just like the new Switch family. So
you know, honestly, I would riot if they don't call the new Switch the Super Nintendo Switch. Come on, that's such a perfect name for it. Not Switch Pro,
Yeah.
Super
Or
Nintendo
the
Switch.
new Nintendo Switch, like the new 3DS.
oh my
Oh yeah, that's something.
gosh.
But still, I'm going
So-
for Super Nintendo.
So
Super's way cooler.
we mentioned earlier the Valve Steam Deck. So
Yeah.
here's my question, fellas. For $100 more of the Switch
Yes.
OLED, no, $50 more from the Switch OLED, you can
Oh.
get a 64 gigabyte console that I think does have does have SD card slot, I believe.
Yeah, it
The
does.
base model
Yeah.
does not have an SSD. It's eMCC.
No,
storage.
SD card, not SSD. SD
Oh,
card.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
it has expandable SD card slot. But fellas, it is a freaking AMD Zen 2 and a CPU and a freaking AMD RDNA 2 processor. It pretty much is targeting 720-ish. It's got an 800. It's got like an 800p display, and you can play they were saying you can play pretty much the entire Steam library on it. I still want to see it in action before I believe that, but here's the thing. It's like, in a sense, in some ways, this is kind of like the Switch Pro, but also kind of better because it's Steam.
Yeah.
It's all your Steam library.
It's
So like
Valve
it's not
finally doing a thing.
the whole funny red man Nintendo thing where you get a console and then you got to buy remakes of every single game even if the game came out 2 months before the console came out. So how are y'all feeling about the Steam Deck in general?
Ottendo, you go first.
Or Ottendo, you go first.
Yeah, I talk too much.
Yeah.
Honestly, Valve, just big win. The Steam Deck is incredibly awesome. I mean, come on. Handheld Halo. How long have we been asking for that? That is incredible. The fact that you could be able to play not only PC games, but all the indie games and all of the Xbox games as well. That's going to be coming on that. You can play it on the go and all that. And just the fact that it's just incredible. I'm honestly, I'm really excited for it. But the only downside for me is that I can't get it here because it's only going to be available in America first, and then sometime along the track about a year or so, then it's going to come to Australia and the EU and all that. But it's like, I'm sad. I really want to get this so badly.
Hey, we're the guinea pigs, so
Yeah.
I reserved the middle of the road model already.
dang, you already got one. Let's go.
Awesome.
Well, I paid the $5 down, so I'm just gonna save up a little bit
I gotcha.
because it's coming like
22.
early 2022. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it sold me. It sold me right away because I was like, okay, they could have easily been like, oh, you get stuck with our secret sauce, and guess what? You're gonna like it. No, they go, you can download Windows. I'm interested in how well that runs because it's Windows, but if you want, you can make a little emulation machine. Not
Exactly,
that I would say you
yes.
should, but all I gotta say, if Nintendo wanted you to play the
possibilities.
games, they
Will,
would put it there.
Will,
But
I'm gonna be real. I didn't know that you could install Windows. Do you know what this means?
yeah,
Do you know what this
Yeah.
means? Portable
Gaming?
Game Pass machine. Portable
Yeah.
Game Pass machine.
I've
And
already
not
thought about
xCloud.
that too.
And
Yep.
not xCloud. Not xCloud.
Native.
Just
You can
straight up
play
Game
Nintendo
Pass.
games on there.
Straight up Game Pass.
Yeah, and because Will also said as well the emulation, you can play Nintendo games on it.
Bruh.
I mean,
Steamule or whatever on there, and you play Switch
Yeah.
games.
And I
Steam
mean-
Dolphin. You could put Dolphin. You
I
could
mean-
put Visual Boy Advance. You could put Decime. Play their Pokemon games on there, like 720, 60 frames. That's that is incredible.
For like a
How
DS
could
game,
people-
it's perfect. But that's good.
Honestly, it's just-
But I definitely reserved one because I was like, look, I gotta go ahead and support this. I mean, who knows? Who knows? It could burn up in your hands, light your house on fire. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I'm renting, But anyways, but it's
I'm
like as soon as I read that there's a dock, I was like, okay, I'm reserving this one.
Yeah.
It made me laugh really hard. I was like, you got my $5. All right, here you go. You funny, the funny Steam company.
And pretty much all the concerns relating to like the technological things, I'm sure Valve has already talked about it with when they're making it, and also like trying to fix the problems too. I mean, come on, yeah. Like
Again, any questions? YouTube.com/Digital Foundry. I'm pretty sure that's the link.
They'll let you.
That
There you
too as
go.
well.
Go watch Digital Foundry's breakdown of it. They did it, they put in their DF weekly of their own opinions and whatever. So you get both sides. You get the technical, like Rich, dude. Oh, Rich, what a pro, what a cool dude. He gets paid way too much.
Doing a shout out to Digital Foundry.
Slowed down the footage and looked at Doom Eternal frame by frame in that one ad to see that it runs pretty much at 68 FPS locked.
I'm gonna be,
and I'm just like, dude,
that's pretty good. Honestly, I'm more of a frame rates guy myself. I love frame rates more than graphics, but
same.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be real. This might be like, I'm sitting here thinking, like, I don't even care at this point if Nintendo, like, for me personally, I mean, I kind of do just for the overall market. If they do a pro model, but honestly, for me, this might be something that I end up getting later next year, save a little money, because xCloud's good, decent.
Yeah.
Remote play's like decent. It's getting there, it's getting better. But like, if I could just load up Halo, right? I could just load up Halo. I could freaking play any of these PC games that I'm not able to play. I could even play some of these PlayStation games that are coming to Steam, like
Spider-Man on Steam 1.
It's the ultimate console.
Horizon Zero Dawn. I can't remember what the other one. It is Last of Us.
Days Gone.
Last of Us.
Yeah, Last of Us. You could play Last of Us. You could play Death Stranding.
Wait, Last of Us is coming?
I think so.
Last of Us is coming to PC?
I don't know.
I think so.
No,
eventually they'll all come. All the PlayStation games will come to PC.
There was a game, I can't remember what it was. It might have been Death Stranding I was thinking of, but like, I mean, it's not that I wouldn't still get games on Xbox and everything, but like the fact that if I could do Windows and make it work while I have Gamepass and I would have all that on there. So I mean, like,
the cross progression.
Like this would kind of be, because like, I've kind of wanted a gaming PC, but I've not really I'm not really that hardcore, and I haven't really wanted to break the bank. The main reason was just to play some of these games I can't play, and if I can do it there, it's looking like good.
No, it's a good value.
Good value. It's looking like a pretty solid machine. My question is, how well will it run the Halo Infinite technical previews? Which are possibly,
I'm sure it'll be fine.
Which are possibly starting this weekend. So, fellas, we had the Inside Infinite. We had the Inside Infinite drop early, and it gave us a bunch of details about Halo Infinite flighting. And so they said they still haven't given us a concrete date yet, which tells me that they're probably don't want to commit to something just to have it fall through because of some technical garbage. But pretty much the rundown, which if I remember, I will link in the description the Inside Infinite article that gives all the details. But the rundown, the need to know information is there will be multiple technical previews. The first technical preview will start out with they said hundreds of thousands of players of insiders, and they're going to be prioritizing the long-standing insiders. And the preview will be mainly testing bots, the academy, and something they call weapon drills, which is part of the academy, as well as customization, and those systems, the UI, et cetera, et cetera. So our first...
And the Waypoint.
Yes, and Waypoint. Waypoint. So the Waypoint app, how that integrates and everything. So pretty much this first flight will be bots versus 4 players in each server, which allows them to test twice the amount of server load. And also Brian Gerard Sketch, he said that the bots also tax the servers a lot differently than just normal gameplay. So my question is, I know that there's a lot of opinions out there, and I don't really want to get into those. I already had a whole nother time of that.
I have done the classic ignore.
Yeah. So, but I want to hear y'all's opinions. What do you guys think about this technical preview coming up? And what are you looking forward to testing out most? We'll start with you, Will.
Honestly, let me just put it out there. Flights, dude. It's a thing. It exists. It's happening. Like not even like last week we were like, oh, there's still no information on the flights. Oh, boo hoo.
There's no dates for Halo Infinite.
And now we get them, and they're like, oh, but it's only bots though. And I'm like, yeah, but you want them to actually work when you play the game, right?
Yeah.
Like, because my thing with bots is like the AI needs to be trained. You know, if they're supposed to replace a real flesh and blood player when somebody does the stupid thing and leaves. Okay, sorry, I got a little angry there.
I forgive you.
But like, you know, the fact that this is happening is a net positive, no matter which way you slice it. And I'm psyched if I get a chance to go in to hop into the academy. This is gonna be the first thing I do. I want to get warmed up, get a feel for the game, at least for now, because it might be some different stuff at launch, but who knows. And overall, net positive. Stop crying. Stay mad. That's all I gotta say.
All right, Ottendo, what do you think about these here technical previews? This first one.
Exactly what Will said. Like, stop crying. Get your money up, not your funny up. Yeah, and
Facts.
I'm honestly excited for this whole technical preview. I just want to participate in it. Oh my god.
Shoot a man.
Yeah, I just want to kill the man. But yeah, the bots thing, that sounds very interesting. I'm actually interested to see how smart the AI is, because one thing that Halo is known for, one of the known for things about Halo is the fact that it has one of the smartest AI in gaming history. Save for a few Halo games, but still, it's got one of the smartest AI. And I'd love to see Infinite bring that back again, like have the AI be that intelligent to the fact that, oh, it's like I'm almost playing like with an actual player or something like that. But yeah, it's the fact that also you'd be using different weaponry too. That'd be like a good thing to try out, like the various the heat wave. We finally know the name of that weapon that looks like the scatter shot, the heat wave. A few more weapons too as well. See what the sandbox is like, the maps, the different paths you can take as well, and the power spots and all that. The waypoint would be very interesting too, to get a hands on what that actually will be like. And honestly, I'm all excited for it. Now, just gotta get the technical preview, because they already said to us that it's gonna be pretty much the Halo YouTubers, the influencers first. They'll try this first. Then probably later on the track they'll bring more people into it and all that.
Well, they didn't say the influencers. They just said they're prioritized.
I put that
oldest insiders, and they said that they're gonna with each preview they're gonna add more and more, and their goal is to have all eligible, which means, you know, the people who have all the check marks and everything's done, all eligible insiders playing. So y'all, if you haven't signed up for Insider Program, do it.
Definitely
Make sure you have all your check marks done. You opt in for communications, and if you don't get invited for the first flight, don't worry, just stick around. I think like I might get freaking like thrown into the fire for saying this from some people, but like I think this is probably the smartest thing that they could do with how they're handling this, because they start out with bots. They get to test the bots, because I don't know that once we got to the third flight, if it was just mainly testing bots, if people are really going to care. And since this will be people's first, like, the first time getting hands-on, get to test bots. It allows people to warm up to the game and learn the mechanics without having to have sweat lords. And it also allows them, you know, to check twice the servers and make sure the servers are good, because the last thing that we want is for a whole bunch of people to jump into a flight and try to test out something like BTP or Arena, and matches aren't connecting. But
and then they go, they didn't make the game properly.
It's like if I can't get in it's kind of like a good thing and a bad thing that it's bots, because it's like on one hand people don't really care, but on the other hand it's kind of good that people don't really care as much, because it's like if the freaking server messes up, it's like, well, it was just bots, I mean, I feel like that could it's a little bit more forgiving, but it's also, for some people, it's a little bit more of a big deal that it's just bots. I don't know. I think
you get really competitive people.
Yeah. Also, they said that the bots are once you turn the difficulty up, they're pretty ruthless. So like that's going to be kind of a challenge too. I think they said they're going to start them. They're going to start them lower and then start cranking them up.
Dang it.
So I mean, I'm kind of like, I'm not like crazy excited, but I am kind of excited to try to get the boys together and see how many freaking bots we can kill, like man versus machine, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
and plus it'd be
go ahead.
Plus because I'm in Australia, of course the internet is here, and like there's a lot of Australian Halo players here that they have problems with connecting onto servers, and it's just awful. We wait a long time, and then when we leave, we get punished for leaving. It's like, as everyone does when they leave Halo, like they get punished a little bit, and it's just awful for us. But this bot thing is like really good, because that way we could still play the game and not have to, like exactly what you said.
Be like,
yeah. I mean, the thing is if you have some buddies in Australia, in that area that you can like link up with, and you can just do bot games, and the bots are like just as fun as normal players, you can still have a real good time. And and like, if your player base in your country isn't as big, you can have that there, for custom games or whatever. I think that that's definitely a cool thing, because I know that I know we've tried to play games together, and it's like straight up just not let us, even without Halo. It's just so hard sometimes when the regions are so far apart. But especially with ping and stuff. But I mean, I feel like even though we're not playing against other players to start out with, I mean, we do have other flights coming up. So I mean, I'm just excited to try this game out, like get to see it, especially on my Series X, get to see what it looks like on there.
Yes.
See if my PC can run it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna play on both.
Should be able to.
I want to see what it looks like on. I mean, I know it's still work in progress build and everything, but I want to see what it looks like on the Xbox One and how the frame rate and everything works. That's what I'm most curious to see.
That'll be something.
And then I want to see how it works on the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
dude, you already know.
But yeah, fellas,
I've got a feeling it'll be fine.
I think that's all we got for today. So any closing thoughts, any wise words, anything you want to share before we go?
I got one. Okay, I got a couple. To everybody who's like still out there and being like, 343 isn't doing enough. But bro, they're catering to not just you. Like there's many other, I have different opinions. Johan and I don't even agree on a bunch of them. So it's like, at this point, they're not going like, oh, Will, we need to really listen to him. He's got the right facts. I mean, I do, but no, I'm kidding. And they're not going to be like, oh, this guy's mad because he can't get a flight. Okay, let's take our time to do it. Posting that kind of stuff is like, you're not going to get it any faster, guy. Keep playing MCC. It's fairly fun. I know I'm getting a little tired, but as far as that, I think 2022 is going to be pretty sick. And just be a little patient.
Yes.
That's all I got.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being patient. I mean, it's like good things come to those who wait. That's like a saying. But for me, I'd say, the Steam Deck, I'm really excited about. The Halo thing, I'm excited about. Pretty much this year, I'm totally excited about all these new things happening. Switch OLED, yeah, it's still it's not worth it in my opinion. But for someone who's just getting to the Switch, yeah, it's alright. But you can also get the Series S too, and the Steam Deck as well. I mean, you could play every. If you think about it, if you actually get all the emulations and all that, you can pretty much play every game. And for goodness sakes, the Steam Deck is not an iPad. It's a gaming console that can run a browser. Okay? That's all I'll say to that whole thing, because I saw this video that had that really bad take, like, oh my god. But still, I'm really excited about all that stuff, and I'm really excited about the future stuff that we've got, and as well as this podcast too. I'm excited to see the future of that as well. So I'd say, good on ya.
Oh yes. I guess closing thoughts. I'm just going to agree with Will. I've already talked about this at length with a couple other people, but I feel like people. I mean, some of the stuff they say comes from like a place of them just wanting the game better, but for the most part, people are just impatient. They want instant gratification. They want everything now, and they don't have any consideration for the broader
Scope.
reasons why 343 is doing things the way they are. I'm getting a little bit tired of people saying that they're not being transparent and all of this just because they aren't giving dates like all the time when people want them.
Giving you the specific date that you want.
It's just like I mean, I'm not gonna say that they're like been communicating more than any other game company, because I don't think that's quite true, but they've made a conscious effort to try to improve their communication, and I think we should at least appreciate that. You can still have your opinions. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but I think there's a lot of overreaction. And just overall, it's just kind of like, you know, I'm sorry, but like these people kind of know what they're doing more than you, for the most part. So let's just chill. And when the thing that's funny is like when the main thing that people are critiquing is the fact that like they aren't spitting out news, which also let me throw this out here real quick. I need to corroborate this. So like don't take this to the bank, but I believe Jeff Grubb even said, which Jeff Grubb, in a sense, he has some connections. If you don't know Jeff Grubb, freaking follow him. He's great. He's a Chad. He's the gaming dad. He's the gaming dad. He's beautiful. Anyway, he was saying that he like pretty much 343 reason why stuff's been like so short and like they're not showing like a whole ton is because they're just focusing on freaking building the game, and that's what they should be doing. And also, no reason to go mass market a game that's not coming out until, in my opinion, probably early December, late November. Like, especially with it being free to play, you want to boost that garbage when it's like a month out, 2 months out. So like we're not in sort of like games come out every single weekend, every single day. Back in the day with like Halo 3 and stuff, you know, I mean, games would come out, but like, you know, the whole world would stop for Halo. The whole world stopped for Halo 3. Like when there was a Super Bowl ad, like all of that. And like when you announce something way back, and then of course you have commercials leading up and everything, but like, you know, you announce stuff way back and start building hype trailers and stuff. I mean, Halo's even done that. So, like,
also it's not 2007 or 8
it's
anymore.
just like they've done trailers. They've done they did an in-depth thing. They've been doing Q&As. They've been doing all of that. It's like, what else do you want from them? To literally like show like the whole freaking game. Like, we'll get to see Forge mode when we get to see Forge mode. Like, the time. It's like, here's my thing. If we get to like late September, and there's not much there, we haven't heard that much from anything. You know what I'm saying? Late September, early October. Okay, ring the bells. But I mean, we're just getting into August. I don't know. Maybe October for the ringing the bells. Maybe October just if it's a December release date. But yeah. I mean, also anybody concerned that the game's gonna get delayed,
Yep.
Phil Spencer already said they know when they can release it. It's just a matter of landing down a date that's in the matter of a couple weeks, in the window of a couple weeks. So overall, I don't think there's really much cause for like major concern. I mean, you can still be, you can still
be
you
a bit
can be
skeptical.
whatever. You can be whatever. Like, you can literally be whatever. But in my
Yeah.
opinion, I don't think, because I hate when people try to tell you what to be and what to not be. But I'm saying, in my opinion, I don't think that there's much cause for concern. And in that sense, I'd be more concerned about different gameplay mechanics and everything than just if the game's going to launch or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me float this out there. There was also quite a year last year. I don't know if you noticed, but like,
What?
but
year
like
was
things
that?
are just straight up different.
Yeah,
Like
things are built different.
Nintendo had already been doing the directs and whatever, but essentially like, and even when they didn't, they just would throw a YouTube video up.
Yeah.
Paper
Yeah.
Mario, throw it up there. No direct needed, just throw it up there.
Yeah.
And at this point, it's not Halo 3 2. Think of the last 343
That's what they
game and how divisive I will say that one is. I have my own opinions, but like, they want 343 wants to make a good game.
Yeah.
They've been listening to you. If I were a developer, I would never open Twitter. Are you kidding me? Like, if I sit down to be like, all right, I'm developing Forge mode, boys, let's get on it. And I pull up Twitter and I hear somebody say, Forge better be at launch, otherwise you will die.
But Will, that's
come
pretty
on.
much Twitter in general. It's full of people like that.
Yeah.
Stay
Well,
off
yeah,
the
you
bird
know.
app, kids. Stay off the streets.
Dude, stay off of Twitter ever. That kind of goes to me. I've done some stupid tweets, but
I'm lucky.
you know
I
how
haven't
it
done
goes. But I think it's really good that they're taking I wouldn't say a Hello Games approach, but there's a whole emphasis so much on social media nowadays that for a company to be like, hey, we're gonna work on the game because we'd rather do that, makes me go, oh well, then you must care about your product. Because if they were doing Halo 3 style marketing now, or even back then, like, okay, if they were doing a Halo 3 style marketing like back in 2020 and then showed us that demo that quite frankly did not look finished, I would have been a little concerned. I would have been like, clearly you've put more of your resources into marketing and advertising as opposed to, and they had already done some advertising, the Pringles, the Chips Ahoy with the Master Chief.
Yeah,
on it.
I mean, they had
stuff lined up.
Yeah,
They're
it's
pretty
like,
good.
but they couldn't meet the date.
yeah, it's
They were
like
pretty good.
the partnership thing was just unfortunate. But I mean, I don't know. I've
gotta follow through.
I've gotten people mad at me saying, why are you why do you feel like you need to defend everything and all this stuff? I'm just sitting here like, why do you feel that? I'm like, why do you feel the need to like complain about every little thing just because you're not getting information when you think it should happen, rather than looking at the bigger picture? It's like that's just my thing. I'm very critical of 343. Like, Will knows that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
There's nothing
just
wrong with that.
just fellas, gamers, ladies, gentlemen, everybody,
Take a chill pill, boys.
y'all have a wonderful rest of your time. I don't know if it's day or night.
Time zone.
you're-
Enter your time zone
Yeah.
here right now. Type it in the comments right now.
type
We'll
in
say it.
type in your time zone.
Exactly.
As well as your mom's maiden name, your first pet, and
Also,
the name
give
of the
me your
street where you
social.
first lived.
And your thoughts
give
also on
me-
certain things too.
Give me your RuneScape login, and I will give you 1,000,000 coin.
Yes, he will. Yes, he did it to me. So,
Yeah.
anyway, I think that's all we have.
Oh, before we end, let me float this out there.
Yeah.
In link, I'm assuming it'll be in some sort of description somewhere. Please join the Ohana Gaming Discord.
Oh,
If you
yes.
want to have a little live interaction, we do the Discord stage deal thing.
Yep.
Oh yes.
Where essentially an audience, you have us sitting here talking about opinions and our conversations or whatever.
Yeah.
If you want to see that essentially live, then yeah, pop in the Discord and we
If-
try to do Sundays. So
Yeah, if we get enough homies in here, then we might be able to answer some questions. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
yes.
little cues and some
So yeah,
A's.
thank
Get to
you
know
for
about us too.
thank you for watching. Be sure to check out Will and Ottendo's channel, and that is
Mhm.
all. Aloha.